Hello, this is a very short video that shows WebSockets in action in an Oracle Apex application. Before I show you the application, I just want to quickly try and describe what WebSockets are. To understand WebSockets, let's start with a quick overview of the HTTP protocol. Let's say you want to check out some Oracle product related documentation. To do this, you would open a browser in your laptop and then type in a web address and hit go. When you're doing this, you are sending what is known as a request out into the internet. This request is getting routed to the correct computer based on the address that you have entered in the browser. Once the computer or the server receives this request, it determines what information to send back to your browser. The information that the server sends back is known as the response. In this case, a web page has been sent to your browser as a response. Now, if you want another piece of information, such as navigate to another page of the Oracle product documentation, then you would have to repeat the whole cycle, starting with sending a request from the browser and ending with receiving a response from the server. This whole mechanism of exchanging information between two computers through a request and response cycle is called the HTTP protocol. Most of the interactions that you have when you're browsing the internet is based on this protocol. With that context set, let's try to understand what WebSockets are. We'll do this by looking at a real life requirement. Meet Maurice. He is a finance bro type. He works for a hedge fund based in Wall Street. Maurice focuses especially on day trading and swing trading in his hedge fund. To do this effectively, Maurice needs to be constantly on top of what is happening in the markets with regards to price movements and trading volumes. So he approaches you to build a web application that will display the latest price and trading volumes of shares that he is interested in. Let's say you've gone ahead and built a web application for Maurice. It would essentially be a page that displays the latest price of a share that Maurice is interested in. So, how would this work? Maurice opens the browser, enters the web address, and hits go. This opens up your web page. Then he tells the web page that he needs the latest price of Oracle. At this point, his browser sends a request to your server to get him the latest price of Oracle. Your server promptly responds with the price. All good so far. However, 2 seconds later, there has been an update in the Oracle share prices. If Maurice wants to see the updated price, he'll need to hit the refresh button to initiate another request response cycle. This would need to keep happening throughout market hours. With this approach, the outcomes do not look pleasant for Maurice. He might end up getting carpal tunnel syndrome, or even worse, he could damage his mouse. One way you could try to solve this problem is by automatically sending a request for the latest price in a loop. But this is also not efficient as it will increase network traffic, and also the data delivery would be slightly delayed as you will get a response only after a request is received by the server. What if there was a way through which the server could send the data to your browser without you requesting for it? This is where WebSockets come into the picture. WebSocket is a computer communications protocol providing full duplex communication channels over a single TCP connection. What exactly does any of that mean, or how does this work? In WebSocket protocol, your browser sends a request to a server one time to initiate a connection. Once the server accepts the request, this opens up a channel of communication between your browser and the server. Either party can now send information to the other side. The server does not have to wait for a request from you. It can initiate a transfer of data whenever it decides. This is very much unlike the early days of a dating life cycle, where you're always waiting for the other person to send you a text before you send a message. Let's see WebSockets in action. Here, I've got a sample application called the Full Duplex Communication Channel, or FUDCC for short. FUDCC shows you the top movers of the stock market for the day. It streams this information on a continuous basis by speaking with a server that is providing this data. On the right hand side of the page, I've got a matrix style terminal that is logging all the communication that is happening between my browser and the server. As soon as the page loaded, the browser got in touch with the server that is providing the data and a communication channel was established. Now, if I click on the big green button, it will send a message to the server and ask it to keep sending me the latest information about market movers. You can see that request being sent here. Once that has been received by the server continues to keep pushing data to my browser whenever the server decides. I do not have to send any more requests. When I'm done for the day, I can close this communication channel either by closing my browser or by hitting this big red button. In terms of real life applications, I use this in a trading platform that I've built to trade equities. For instance, in the page where I submit buy or sell orders in my application, before submitting an order, I like to review the latest updated market price. To do that, I enter the symbol for the equity, in this case Oracle, and hit this button, and the application immediately starts streaming the latest share price onto my page. The demo app, that is FUDCC, has been built using Oracle Apex on Autonomous DB. Very basic JavaScript was used to manage the WebSocket object on the client side. The actual trading platform is connected to multiple financial data providers and brokerages for fetching market data and executing trades.